Hello and welcome to today's Delta Credit Tip. So today we're talking Goodwill letters. Do they work? How do they work? Is it worth your time? Well, stay tuned. We'll fill you in on today's Delta Credit Tip. Hello and welcome back to today's Delta Credit Tip. So today we're talking about Goodwill letters. So what is, first of all, a Goodwill letter? Well, it's a letter that you can basically beg for forgiveness from your creditor. So today we're going to talk about the success rate behind it and how do you structure it and what can it do for you. And hopefully you'll find that information helpful. If so, give us that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that every week as we come out with more information, you get it as we deliver it, helping you make a choice to make a change right here with Delta. So let's talk about a Goodwill letter. So again, basically what a Goodwill letter does for you is when you've tried everything, they've proven a debt's yours, they know that you paid it late, it's getting in the way of what you're trying to accomplish for yourself. So you're just simply asking them, hey, look, I made a mistake. Can you just simply delete it for me? Right? That's basically, in a nutshell, what a good letter is. But will it work? The biggest problem with a Goodwill letter is that it actually violates the Fair Credit Reporting Act based on how most people will send a letter, the Goodwill letter, to the creditor. Right? You can't send this to the bureaus. This has nothing to do with the bureaus. The bureaus, if you send them a Goodwill letter, it's not going to work. You can't ask the bureaus to change information for relationship purposes on your credit report. It has to come from the original creditor. So you have to go to them. Okay? So let's say you've got a relationship with Comenity Bank. It's a department store card and you've got a 30-day late on there. And you know you were late. They know you were late. There's really no disputing that fact. I mean, you've tried and they basically said, yeah, you paid late, bro. Right? So what do? So now what you need to do is say, okay, well, you know what? I've been with you for a long time. I've paid my bill on time. Such and such happened. Can you delete the late pay? Well, the problem with that is that the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that all information that is submitted by a creditor has to be 100% accurate. And if they take the late pay and make it a on-time payment, well, now they're in violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That's not going to work for them, right? So let's go back and talk about, well, how can you structure that letter to maybe get a better result? Okay, well, the first thing you need to do in your letter is get the right tone, okay? And so you don't want to go in there acting like you're all that in a bowl of grits, right? Because you're asking a favor of them. So don't start quoting laws and doing all that kind of thing in an aggressive way. So just say, hey, look, I've been with your company for X amount of years, or I'm a brand new person to you, and I'm establishing a relationship, and I've got this 30-day late, or I've got this account that I paid off that was charged off, or whatever the case may be. And you can then appeal to them from a customer service perspective and say, hey, look, I know I paid it late. You know I paid it late. And I'm not asking you to lie to the bureaus. What I'm simply asking you to do is not report. And if you look on a credit report, there is sometimes an NR or an ND, which means no report or no data. Okay, that is a much better alternative for a creditor because they can update that credit report to a no data or a no report for that month and delete it without necessarily lying on your behalf for customer service reasons. Okay, there are certain creditors that have been very, very cooperative with that. Comenity Bank has been one of them, especially with their department store cards because of the shared relationship. Victoria's Secret has been super good with that I found in the past. Capital One, not so much. Bank of America, forget about it. American Express, don't even send a letter, right? So depending on who that merchant is or who you have that relationship with will really determine whether or not they're going to do that for you. But the Goodwill letter is one that you're going to have to appeal directly to the creditor, but give them the out of not reporting inaccurately by just simply not reporting anything at all that month. Now, just because you send that letter and just because you've got a great relationship with that lender or that creditor or that merchant doesn't mean that they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt and do the non-report or delete or replace it with a positive payment history. At least maybe not that department. So one of the techniques, and I know it sounds kind of crazy and it's kind of using the system, but most major corporations, like your department store cards, like your credit card companies, have multiple addresses. And as such, multiple departments. And if there's one thing that I've learned working in banks is that they are very siloed. So what does that mean? Department A doesn't know what Department B is doing, like left hand, right hand issues, right? I don't know what my left hand is doing. My right hand doesn't know what my left hand is doing, kind of thing. So you may find that if you get multiple addresses for a company and send that Goodwill letter to multiple addresses, somebody is going to care enough to actually do it for you. So try multiple addresses. You can try their corporate offices. If it's a bank, you could try several bank addresses. Try to get multiple locations to go in there, because a guy over in customer service in Arizona may not do the same thing that the guy in customer service in Nevada does for you. Okay, they could be different departments, different levels of authority, and you may find that it works in your favor. I have found that Goodwill letters have a very low percentage rate of producing the result that you're looking for, but you do have more success dealing with a person inside that company that's willing to simply take the time and look at the relationship and see that there's value in you. And of course, that's only going to work if you've provided value. If you started paying late from day one, you might want to look at different ways to fix your credit, right? But if you've had a good relationship with the company, it just strengthens it. If you've got a really sob story that you could put in a letter, that helps as well. And of course, that third option or that third tier or that trifecta of saying, hey, don't report inaccurately, just don't report at all, maybe might get what you're looking for. All right. So hopefully this information helped. If so, give us that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Tune in every Thursday as we bring out more information for you. And hopefully this will help you make a choice, make a change. Delta.